Hello, we'll discuss another very important topic today, art of forgiveness. So, before we proceed, please like, subscribe, and share this particular content with everyone. And let's begin. What should be forgiven? Who should forgive? When you should forgive? Why you should forgive? Why at all forgiveness is required? And all of that. Let us understand what is forgiveness. Forgiveness is a state of mind or a state of heart, you can say, that we forgive someone and also ourselves. I mean, it's not just that we keep forgiving others, we also have to forgive ourselves. And if we cannot forgive others and if we cannot forgive ourselves, then a lot of things they get stuck, and then we kind of always live in the past and we can't proceed further. So, who needs to forgive? So, first of all, I need to forgive. That means if I have been victim, I have been assaulted, or I have been somehow not been treated properly or behaved properly, nice way, spoken nicely, or in whatever way, I should forgive. Now we'll discuss in detail. And also at times we need to forgive ourselves. We need to forgive ourselves for something that we have done, and then if we keep beating ourselves up, that actually demoralizes to a great extent, and then we will not be able to grow, get up, and then bounce back, right? So I need to forgive in the first place. I need to forgive others. Also, I need to forgive myself at times. What needs to be forgiven? What all you should forgive? The extent is everything. So it is mentioned that according to the principles of Bhagavad Gita, love is the sign of endless forgiveness. You have done, I have done, and many people have done a lot of mistakes, a lot of troubles, a lot of problems to our parents. And to a great extent, our parents have been endlessly forgiving us for our mistakes. They may chastise us at times, they may tell something, but ultimately we should understand that whatever they are doing is for our good, keeping our future in ahead. So we should understand, we should realize that I should try to practice forgive everything that happens to me. And if you may ask to what extent, I mean everything means, if everything can be forgiven? No, so there is an extent. But then how it is to be done, let us understand. So how and how much to forgive? So a person holding the capability of punishment can forgive, and a person without holding the capability of punishment has to forgive. He has no option. And at times, when we keep grudge, it doesn't work. We have to forgive without keeping grudge. How we should forgive? That means we should forgive without keeping a grudge, without keeping, without holding that person responsible for something that they have caused to us or somebody has caused to us. You may think that how that is possible? I mean, how can someone forgive somebody endlessly? If you look at the history, if you look at recent past, some people, those who have lived in the married life for 50, 60, 70, 80 years and up till the last breath, they have been practicing that. They have been forgiving their married partner endlessly for small or big mistakes, irrespective of whatever that happened. They decided to stay together, even though they may have quarreled, they may have had a difference in opinion. Same goes with parents and children. So parents forgive endlessly the child. If we can't forgive, then it is something to do with us, nothing to do with them. Because at times what happens is they do something and they forget. It doesn't even bother them. But when we hold on to that, we are the ones that is getting affected. Does that make sense? So how much to forgive and how to forgive? How to forgive means we have to forgive without keeping any grudge. How much to forgive? That's endless. What is important here is the relationship. The more we learn to forgive, the more we also learn to understand the other person better. We get a chance to understand the other person better. If we can't forgive, do not expect forgiveness from others also when you did a mistake. Right? What happens usually is we do a mistake and then we expect forgiveness from others. And we demand and we think that I am wrong, I may have made a mistake, everybody makes a mistake, and they should forgive me. It is my birthright to be forgiven. But when somebody else makes a mistake, we get on to punish them. We do not usually forgive them. Right? It is a wrong thing to do. Expecting forgiveness for every mistake that we did or you did, and not forgiving for the single mistake for others did, not in sync, absolutely out of sync, does not work. If you expect forgiveness, forgive others. If you forgive, you will be forgiven. If you consider, you will be considered. If you do not hold grudge, people will not hold grudge against you. And there is a scope of discussion beyond the argument. There is a possibility of reinstating the relationship beyond a fight or a difference in opinion or any kind of heated arguments. There is a possibility, there is a scope of again having a discussion. So if that consideration itself of forgiveness is not there, how do you come together to even for a discussion? Right? It is not possible. So without having any grudge, we should forgive. And the most important part, which I know you have in mind, that why should I forgive in the first place? Why should I forgive in the first place? First of all, if, as I gave an example, that somebody tells something to us and they don't even bother, they just forget everything, right? They have forgotten that they have told something to you. They don't even bother, they don't even remember, they don't even consider that it was worth feeling bad, but you felt bad, right? You felt bad and you are holding it. You are holding that heated argument, you are holding it and you are building it up. It's like, as they say, holding the hot potato. If you actually hold a hot potato over a period of time, it may get cooled down. But the problem with this is, the more you hold, the more it gets heated up. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Somebody said something to you. What happens? The mental chatter starts. Why did he say that? What did I do? And you start justifying all of that in the mind. You start talking in the mind for a long time. You start to build a bad reputation of that person in your image, in your mind. You start to create a different kind of image of that person in you. And whenever you look at that person, that particular image what you have created comes in front of you. So now you started judging. The grudging increases, the grudge increases, the judgment increases. With every small action of that person, reinforces your conviction, your image, what you have created about that person. So what happens? Who is suffering? The other person is not suffering. He doesn't even know you are considering in that way to him. Suddenly someday you burst out saying 1,000 other things which that person cannot even relate to, because he never considered that way to you. Right? So who is suffering? If I don't forgive, I am the one who is suffering. If I can forgive, I am the one who will be relieved of that suffering. And people, those who live with this grudge, can't live peacefully, can never live peacefully. It's always going to be there within their minds. It's keep on running there. The mental chatter, everything is going to come back. Everything keeps coming back. Every time you look at that person, every time you talk to that person, every time you come have some interaction with that person. Right? So it is for your benefit that you should forgive. It is for my benefit that I should forgive. So who is the beneficiary? If I forgive, I benefit. If you forgive, you benefit. Now, you may say, if I don't forgive, as many of them say that, I can't forgive that person ever in my life. So if you can't forgive that person ever in your life, take this solidly, that you will never be able to peacefully remain, whether that person is alive or not. you will never be able to stay peacefully, because that person is going to continuously hunt you. That person is not hunting you. Your mind is hunting you, is causing you trouble, thinking about the problems that the other person created. Best way to deal with it is consider the other person's opinion. Initiate the talk instantly, the moment you felt bad. Okay, so if there is a possibility of meeting that person again, if there is a possibility that you can never meet that person, you have only one choice: forgive and forget it. If there is a chance that you can ever meet that person, consider discussing and referring to that point what made you felt bad. Sit with him, talk to him. You spoke so and so thing that day, which I felt really bad. And you will realize that that person had no intention to hurt you. That person had not even thought about it. Probably he may not even remember that he said that. And when you realize that that person had no ill intention to make you feel bad, you have no choice but to forgive and forget and reconcile. Once you do that, matter is over. Most of the times what happens is, the moment we feel bad, we don't talk to that person. We disconnect. Disconnecting is very easy. Disconnecting is very easy. Creating a wall between two people is very easy. Breaking that wall is tough, very difficult. So if you are suffering, go and talk to that person. Pick up the phone, message him, WhatsApp him, whatever it is. I want to talk to you. I want to discuss with you. And you talk to him, you will find he didn't even exist most of the time. You can initiate the discussion to talk with that person through some messaging, through some phone call, through some WhatsApp or SMS. But do not convey what you wanted to say through the SMS, through the WhatsApp, through email, or through any of these channels of communication. Best would be try to talk in person. And the best way to begin and the best way to attract that person to come for a discussion is that, I'm sorry for whatever had happened, I just wanted to talk to you. So that would actually help the other person to consider come for a discussion. If that is done, if the discussion happens in person, then only there is a possibility of solution. But if you write a message, most of the time what happens is like the tonality is not understood in a message. And voice notes are much better that way, but then they are like one-sided again. So you don't know what the other person is thinking also. So better to have a discussion in person rather than having a long discussion over WhatsApp or other mediums of messaging. So that's not going to solve. It's going to aggravate the problem. So have a in-person discussion, not through these kind of channels. If you realize that that person had actually told you to hurt you, then there is a different way to deal with that. If we can forgive, if I can forgive, the possible best beneficiary is me. If you can forgive, you are going to get benefited. Look at the other angle. If somebody is deliberately causing trouble to you, that person is deliberately wanting to hurt you, and the benefit of forgiving is it doesn't bother you, it doesn't affect you. That person wants you to get affected by his words or her words, and if you are not getting affected, who is suffering? You are not suffering. The other person will be, because the more that person is trying to cause you suffer, you are not affected. If you are not affected, that person will suffer, because he will be burning now. He will be burning to do a lot more things. And then you can always clarify that what makes you feel like this whenever you see me. There may be a history to that. Why that person feels something about you, there may be a history to that also. You have to find out that. There may be a perception that that person might have built about yourself, and you will have to find out that and clarify that. And there is a possibility that that person may understand that, oh, is this the thing? I didn't realize. I thought this was your intention. I thought this was the thing. I thought whatever it may be the thing, if you sit and clarify, there is a possibility that it will be dissolved. But irrespective of that, if that person keeps carrying that thing, at a certain point you will have to kind of disconnect. But you cannot disconnect with your spouse, you cannot disconnect with your direct relatives like your parents or son or brother and sisters. You cannot disconnect. You will have to kind of distance them with respect to your mind, not physical distancing. You don't have to get affected. That's what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that Padma Patram Ivam Vasaha, the lotus leaf that is sitting in the water gets onto the leaf but slides off. The water cannot wet the lotus leaf. So, how to be in this world and not get affected by the atrocities, difficulties, challenges, and whatever that comes on us? How to lead a life that we cannot get affected, we should not get affected, or without getting affected. So please watch out, and then please join my community to know more about that, how to lead a life of, in a way that we cannot get affected, or we should not get affected, or without getting affected. Yeah, there are deeper understanding to implement. There are deeper things to be implemented in our lives, which can broaden our understanding, which can deepen our understanding, and which will open up a lot more things to lead a balanced life in the midst of the chaos. Thank you very much. See you.